guys, and welcome to another episode of The Father's Rhythm. I hope you're enjoying these videos at the moment, and what we're going to speak about today is probably, I know I said this about the heaven one, but this might be my favourite one. We're going to talk about the flow, or in the Christian term, it would be the rest of God. Now, this is something that is so precious and so enlightening and has dramatically shifted my life from fuzzy TV to HD. But before we speak about this place, this realm, if you will, I'm going to invite you to engage it with me. And it's a beautiful place. If you can tell already, I've been engaging the realm of rest before I decided to do this video. And it's just such a sweet place to be, and it's a place that you can live in, exist from, and it's open to everybody. It's not exclusive as such, it's inclusive for everyone, whoever you are. The Bible actually says, enter this place of rest, because in that place, this is me going on from the Bible verse, by the way, because in that place is the fullness of life and provision and love. But anyway, we're going to do a little activation. Some people call it meditation. Some people call it activation. You can call it whateveration you fancy, right? But I'm just going to put some music on, maybe say a few words, but you'll get a little understanding to how I kind of meditate or how I engage. So let me just grab my phone. I'm not sure the quality is going to be the greatest, but nevertheless, this is called the frequency of delight. So let me just put this on. So what I like to do is, first of all, I like to breathe deeply. You know, many ancient practices, spirituality, religion, Christianity, all of it, they talk about the breath. In fact, the name of the Holy Spirit is Ruach HaKodesh in Hebrew, which means the breath of God. So what I like to do, and if you look in, you know, scientifically, when you breathe in a certain way, it actually changes your brain waves. So I like to recollect through breath. So take a few deep breaths. Hold at the top for a couple of seconds. I'm going to go for another couple more. I'm enjoying it, right? Another couple more. Now, if you've joined me in that, you'll notice that you feel a shift. That's because your brainwave pattern has actually changed, and you've come into a place more harmonious with your peaceful state. And I like to just breathe and relax in this place. Breathe and relax in this place. And for me, because I've got a relationship with God, I meditate, or I think, normally close my eyes, and I think of the goodness of God and everything that He's accomplishing in my life. And it makes me smile and it makes me laugh, because He's doing some awesome things and He's done some awesome things. And in that place where He's accomplishing His desires in me and my desires are being met, there's the fullness of love and peace, and that is rest. In this place, you're completely found, and there is no striving. You are who you are, and that is absolutely enough. And some of you, as you're doing this, you actually might feel a presence either in your body or around your body, or you might even pick up spiritually on a few things that are around you. And that's okay, just enjoy it. Sometimes I would describe the feeling that I get as being drunk. In the New Testament, a lot of the onlookers, when the apostles were doing loads of crazy stuff, were calling them drunk. They were even calling Jesus a drunk. And I know that that's because, one, they were drinking alcohol, but not too much. But they were engaging with the realm of light and the realm of rest. So for me, sometimes after some engagement like this, I find it somewhat difficult to speak, but there's always a smile on my face. Okay. Thank you, Christ. Wow, that was beautiful. You know, I like to do that on a morning when I wake up, and I can recommend that on a morning. Just relax and breathe and discover your oneness with God. It's a beautiful place to be. So, without further ado, let's start talking about this rest or this flow of God that I want to speak about. So, first of all, in the Bible, you may have read the Bible, you may not have read the Bible, but it says God created all of this stuff in 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested. Now, we spoke about this in earlier videos that, you know, some people are literalists. They believe that, did I make a word up? I might have. They believe that in 6 24-hour days, God created the heavens and the earth, and then on the seventh he rested. Maybe, I don't know, he went to bed, went to DFS and found a sofa, chilled out. Who knows, right? There's people who take it metaphorically, allegorically, mysteriously. Remember those 4 different ways you can interpret? If you haven't heard that before, if you flick a few videos back, you'll find that. But I think the importance of this Bible verse, and I take it as having rich, mysterious meaning, is that God created all things set within their way, and on the seventh day he rested. Now, rest to me is to cease from your works and just be. So God created everything in its parameter, if you will, all set in times and seasons, and then he rested from all of that. And then it says in the New Testament that Christ invites us into that rest of God. And inside that rest, and I like to call it the flow, you rest from all the works that you strive to do. And it's such a blissful place. Man, look at the world. People are so chaotic in trying their best to accomplish and rigorously going at things. And I don't mean everything, you know, some things you need to put some hard work in. The rest isn't absent from hard work. But I think you get what I'm talking about. People striving to be something, you know, taking pictures to be next to the person that they think's beautiful, you know, in terms of how people are weighing them up, or striving to be the best employee, which not necessarily is a bad thing, but done from the place of rest, you can do it from peace and not this necessity to be seen and observed by others, because you're already seen and observed by God. And inside this place of rest, there is the full provision and love for your life. So many of us are chasing provision, chasing finance, chasing this illusion of success that we've created. And, you know, I was absolutely one of those people. But then I had the invitation to switch into the flow of God, the love of God, where he carries you in a river of his delight, and everything gravitates towards you that is good. And that's what the rest is about. See, outside of the rest, it's about doing it yourself. I call it the DIY, right? So it's about what you can accomplish by your own means. In fact, I would say religion is inside the chaos. So for me, it is rest and it's chaos. Inside chaos, I'd put religion, and then I'd also put your DIY, do it yourself. The reasons being, religion is conformism, conform to this, and it is about what to do in order to get the approval of God. But the rest, you're already approved by God, and you're not trying to attain anything, so to speak. Wow. I'm just really still enjoying that place. I don't know if you guys are still in that place with me or not, but as you can see, I'm finding it kind of tough to talk at the moment. And then it's your DIY. I call it your do it yourself. So we take this self-sufficiency on to be able to provide. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, the desire to provide and the desire to accomplish is a good thing. But I believe we were created to do that in the love union with God. So every innovative idea, every passion that we want to birth on the earth, every bit of cash that we want to materialize, everything that we want to accomplish is to be done from this rest and this flow, because from that place comes perfection. Everything else looks disjointed. You only need to look at the way the world is, and you see the way the world trades, and it's chaotic. People's mindset's chaotic. The way people want to trade with each other is chaotic. But inside the rest and the flow of God, there is enough provision for everybody, so trade's totally different. There's enough love for everybody, so there's no insecurity. There's enough people and community, so there's no fear of being alone or missing out. And it's such a blissful place. And the reason that I call this place a realm, because to me it's a place of existence. It's a state of being. And when I first came into religion, into Christianity, I was absolutely not in that place. I was striving to accomplish. I was striving to be approved by God through the works that I was doing. And I did it in the name of the Bible. And again, it wasn't a bad thing. Guess what? In the place of rest and flow, there's no good or bad anyway. It's all just growth. So it wasn't a bad thing. I was trying my best to impress God. And meanwhile, he was saying, I'll wait till you run out of steam. And then when you do, you'll know that truly all that matters is that you know me, and you will not know me from the place of chaos. Has anyone tried to get a solution when their mind's running round crazy, right? If you need an answer to something, I mean, I've done a little bit of studying myself, and if I need an answer to something, it usually doesn't come from the rigorous hours that my head's in a book. It almost comes blissfully, like a slight epiphany, or when your mind's at peace and rest, and then the answer comes. It seems to never come in the turmoil and the chaos. Well, the answer of your life has always been in this place of rest, because the truth is, that's where you were born from. You were born from above, as the Bible says, born again, be reborn. And one of the blissful attributes of being born again, if you will, or being born from above, is to be born into this place of flow. So in this place of flow, as I was talking about earlier, there is a deep and passionate communion with God, where everything begins to gravitate towards you. All the goodness that you desire, the manifestation of the desires of your heart begins to happen. I'd go so far as to say I did not know the desires of my heart until I entered this place. And then in this place, God began to transform me. Remember, everything's done in this flow. Even transformation of the character, of the soul, and of the spirit is done within this realm, because nothing like that can be done in chaos. Wow. I'm just taking a second just to breathe it in. Man, we are so lucky, guys. We are so lucky. Yeah. Thank you, God. So in this place of communion and provision, as I mentioned, is this place of transformation where God begins to take you through a process of character refinement. And he does that in a gentle way, but somewhat in a stern way if needs be, to be adjusted to the mind of the Spirit, to be adjusted to things above, because he calls you to think from above. And the provision of God will follow you in your destiny. I remember when I started to encounter things of spiritual nature a while ago, one of the things Jesus first said to me is, son, I wouldn't employ you as a builder unless I'd already provided everything for the work that you'll do. And he made a promise to me initially that yes, he's employing me effectively, and he employs you as a builder in some way. But he provides everything for that journey. And in the place of provision, sometimes it will seem like it lacks, because that's the illusion. So you always have what you need. And sometimes maybe it's that you have no money, because that's what you need at that particular time. But trust me, your needs will still be met. Perhaps it's that you go without food for 2 days, but he'll still meet your needs. Your tummy will still be full supernaturally. He's met so many needs in my life that go beyond the physical. I don't actually have time to explain it. I'd have to sit down and we'd have a coffee or a wine or a beer or whatever you like and explain it then. But in this place, you always have what you need. And here's another amazing thing. There is no lack in the place of rest. In the place of flow, there is no lack. So it means you always have what you need for the particular position that you're at on your journey. Wow. This is rocking my socks off, this message. I can't wait to listen back to this. You always have what you need. You don't need to strive any longer. You don't need to be worried about the bills coming in or getting the promotion. Why? Why not? Because it's all within the plan. It's all within destiny. And let me tell you, he is faithful to accomplish that in you. There has been many things in my life. In fact, during this video, I'm going to share just a few testimonies, both of miraculous things that God has accomplished around me and also in me. Because in this place, it requires the goodness of God to carry you. Because remember, you're not doing it yourself. So, hey, I'm gonna share a story about provision, actually, because we were kind of on that topic there. And yeah, this is an awesome story. So I have a friend, and I used to live with this particular friend in this house. And at that time, we were learning to live out of one pot. So now we live out of one pot together. Like, his money's my money's his money. You know, we share everything, and I do so in like a larger community. Actually, we all live with open hands. But at this particular time, I was beginning to learn that, and so was he. And he had some upcoming bills that needed to be paid, and he didn't have the money. And one day, he, by the way, I didn't know this at the time. I only know it after because he told me. One day he comes down the stairs and he says to me, "Bro, how did you know?" And I'm like, "Dude, what are you talking about?" He's like, how did you know? Like, about the bills that are... And I'm like, "You're going to have to elaborate, mate, because it's deaf ears here." And he was like, "Come upstairs, man." So I walk up the stairs, and on the his bedside table was what looked to me as a £20 note. And I was like, "Yeah." And he went, "You're not going to believe this." And then he picked it up, and there was 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And then he showed me the bills that were to go out. And it is just the amount to cover with a little bit extra that he needed. And that was a manifestation of God. I never, ever put the money there, of course. I mean, if he'd have asked me, I'd have given him it, but he was too shy to ask back then. But what had happened is that God, in his infinite ability to create, remember that God created everything, every atom that exists, God created. And he can manipulate that in whatever way he sees fit. And there was a manifestation of his glory. And in fact, we've had a couple of cash manifestations during our time following Christ. But that's just an idea of the provision. But to be in that place of rest meant that could happen. In the chaos, I believe it couldn't. Because in the chaos, everything is like a battle. Everything is a strive, and it's really, really noisy. Maybe some of you that are watching this are like, "Man, I get that. Like, my head's noisy. I'm trying to get somewhere, but I don't know where. I'm trying to achieve something, but I'm not quite sure what I'm trying to achieve." Because if you can envision what you're trying to achieve, what would getting there really do for you? And then what would you feel after? See, I realized when I came into this flow of God that I was already accomplished, but I'd already achieved, because I was at the pinnacle of existence. This is the pinnacle of life. And then everything I do flows from that, whether it be the videos, or whether it be personal training at a gym, or whether it be, I don't know, whatever, trading stocks, trading crypto, whatever. I don't do it to necessarily accomplish anything. I do it because I know it's written in destiny, and everything will go as it should be. And there's another thing that you can look forward to, or perhaps you're already experiencing, is that everything is as it should be in this place, because this place is about your growth. It's not about good or bad. You know, in the Bible, it says that there was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and there was the tree of life. In this place of flow and rest is the tree of life. The knowledge of good and evil, it doesn't exist. It doesn't. In this place, it's just life, and it's growth, and it's wisdom. There's no good. There's no bad. It just is. Good and bad half the time, if you think about it, not even half the time, all the time, it's an illusion. It might exist within your idea because you've got a framework of what you think is good and what you think is bad. But if you remove the idea of good, or remove the word good or bad, then everything just is. And when you come into this place of rest, it's the place of is, where you trust that everything is for your betterment. The Bible actually says that all things are working for your good. And inside this flow, whatever is happening to you, whatever transformative process that you're going through, it's all for your good. And everything leads to life. Even death leads to life. So sickness can have no hold over you here because it leads to life. And that's a powerful place to be, to remove the idea that sickness would lead to death, which leads to a blackout, or remove the idea that death actually has a sting because it leads to something that is not absolutely wonderful. I've actually got a photo, I'll show you it one day up there, and it's of the face of Christ, and it says, from death comes life. And part of this process is dying to yourself, because in dying to your old nature, you actually take on the nature of your new creation. So this is a place that exists for all of us, as I mentioned at the start of the video. And this is completely separate from most things that we'd have heard before. Because a lot of what religion preaches is come to our service and you may have a conversion experience, or come to our service and let us tell you what we are about. But actually, this place of rest that God actually invites you into, it says, come home to where you've always been. Recollect your mind to where you always have been. Enjoy your spirit, because that's your true nature. He doesn't need you to conform to anything. The only thing that he says conform to is to your true image. And how crap must life be if we go through the whole thing not knowing who we truly are, what truly makes us tick. And the good news is in the flow of God, you will absolutely find out who you are. I found out so much about myself. And God would always encourage me. He's like, Jacob, like, put the brakes on sometimes. Even in this place, I'm like, I still want to go at stuff, or, I want to get breakthrough. That's, it's a lot of the words we use in Christian circles. Let's get breakthrough. Let's push and push and push and someone needs to get healed, or, we need finances. So let's rigorously pray that God does it, or, there's sickness in the world. So let's all pray as hard as we can that sickness goes. But I believe in this place of flow and rest, all of that striving doesn't exist. If the world needs sickness removed, God will show you how to do it from the courts of heaven. If something needs to happen within your family, you don't need to spend hours trying to pray it away. God will show you if it needs to be away, how you're going to do that spiritually, how you can, may have to take out some bad guys, but he'll show you. But it's in that place. You're not striving for anything anymore. And I recommend this wholly to you, because this place of rest is the place of Yeshua. It's the place of Christ. It's the oneness with God. It is Jesus Christ. He said, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. He is the way. The way is the flow, and it's the rest. Wow. I'm just looking at that. I've been going for like 23 minutes. Normally I edit quite a lot in the videos, but I feel that this time I'm not going to be editing so much. So if you've watched all this anyway and you're like, man, it seems really cool, I want a bit of that. It's really, really simple. It's already yours. Christ adores you more than you could ever imagine. And just maybe tomorrow morning, just turn your heart. In what we were doing earlier, turn your heart. The one playlist I like to use from Apple Music is Pure Meditation. Just spend 15 minutes on a morning. If you've got a girlfriend, or if you've got a fella and you think they'll have a laugh at you, just nudge them and go, let's do it together. Just relaxing, just breathing, enjoying, and transitioning perhaps into that place of rest that Jesus holds the keys to, by the way, because everything is about your relationship with God. It's not about getting spiritual enlightenment. You already are enlightened. You just need to come to the knowledge of that. You're not trying to be enlightened. You're not trying to look cool. You're not trying to do the latest yogi method or anything like that. You're actually developing in who you truly are and getting to know your creator, and everything flows from that place. But the good news is, in doing that, you enter this place of rest. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Shalom, and look forward to seeing you next week.